do it all over again, would you stay with this one or go with someone else? So all that and trying to understand reliability. How reliable is the software? Doesn't matter if it's the most sophisticated software in the world. If it's always breaking down and never functioning, the restaurants will get frustrated with it, stop using it altogether. So reliability becomes extremely important. So those are all the component pieces that I would worry about, and I think restaurants worry about when they're trying to make a decision on who to use. But in most cases, it's what is the capabilities that you can do, and that'll be the deciding factor.
Okay. So is there
I'm not sure I answered your question or not. So.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Let me try to ask it a different way. What is it that about, say, a crunch time or a fishbowl or hot schedules that makes you say not so great for a customer the size of McDonald's?
Oh, so for a McDonald's, because you're having to plug your information into their software, first of all, so it isn't going to be as flexible as something you create that's specifically designed for your restaurants, your product mix, all the pieces you want. So McDonald's is going to create their own software, and then I don't have to pay the monthly fee either. If you think about it, if I hire some developers to create the software and load it into my hardware, there's no ongoing fee to support that. To have to pay that like you would. So imagine that. Roughly speaking, the cost of, let's say, hot schedules is probably, I think, around most of these software crunch time, those guys want about $100 a month per restaurant. So $100 a month versus hundreds of thousands of dollars to develop the software is a much better deal for me if I'm 200 restaurants or less. But when I get to be 30,000 restaurants or 5,000 or 10,000 restaurants, $100 a month is a lot of money. I can afford to develop my own software.
Okay, so it's largely economic. It's not capability. Like if I could solve for the economic problem and I'm crunch time, is there anything that would prevent me from being successful selling into a McDonald's? Or you're just saying by the time you cover all, I don't know how many thousands of restaurants McDonald's has, but by the time you do that, it's gonna be cost prohibitive, and no one's gonna want to buy into that. Yeah,
exactly. If I'm in McDonald's shoes and I say that I see they have some capabilities that I don't have, I just develop it into my own system. I don't pay them for it.
Okay, great. Jason, what questions do you have in the final few minutes? I think we covered most of the things that were on our original list.
Yeah, I think we did. You guys got through a lot of it really good. One of the questions I had was really more on that value proposition. So just, in your past experiences, and almost like immune to what the exact software was, but what did you see as key differentiators when you were putting two companies head to head? I think you mentioned a little bit like you would call references and things like that to validate your level of confidence that they could do what they did, but what were kind of those key differentiators that really tended to win out over one company over another?
Yeah. So for me, what are the capabilities you have that others don't have? So let's take as an example, when you buy the two big players in hardware are Aloha, which is now NCR, and Micros. Aloha is like Apple; it's a closed-off system, so you have to spend a lot of time getting approved by them as a vendor to provide software inside their system. Micros is like Microsoft; it's easy to kind of plug and play. So when I did interviews with them, what I was trying to both of these companies provide their own scheduling program. But when I listened to what their scheduling program, how it worked and what it would do, and I compared it to what Hot Schedules was able to do, it was an easy decision to go with Hot Schedules because of all the functionality I liked around how the employees and managers can interact with it, because that Hot Schedule still had the ability to function inside the hardware, the operating systems for both Aloha and Micros. So, and it didn't cost me anymore. So the net effect of it is, they'll give you a little bit of a price break, but not enough to make it worth it when it comes down to how great the functionality is of the differences in the software. Okay. So that's going to drive, that was the big one for me.